Welcome to Grow Your Strength. We'll start off with some breathing, taking yourself to a comfortable position. I'm going to do the face up this morning and just kind of micro adjust my body, my back, my shoulders and head so that I feel like I can just focus on the breath. Nice deep breath on the inhale and a long, slow exhale. Just doing a check of your body, making sure if you're holding on to any tension through the neck and shoulders, you can let that go. Little roll of your head side to side. Make any adjustments. Here we go. After your next breath cycle, slowly move yourself onto hands and knees. We'll roll through the back a few times in flexion and extension. Just spreading the fingers and making sure I've got my hands and knees wide enough that I can move easily through my back, not pushing extremes, and just slowly gifting my spine a little bit of movement time. Finding neutral back. I'm going to bring my hands and knees just a little closer for some opposite arm and leg reaches. And this morning I'm going to suggest that you just take it into some different angles. So maybe you take the arm and leg out a little wider with a bent knee and bent elbow, bringing it back to your neutral position. Try to maintain some deep breathing as you go through different reach angles. Taking the weight through your hand, up through into the shoulder that you're supporting yourself on, trying not to lock the elbow or collapse the shoulder down. Just taking your time to feel that cross connection through your backside. Shoulder to opposite hip. Back is not moving as you do your reaches, so keep that neutral position. And wherever you're at, let's go one more time per side. And we'll bring it to half kneeling. Looks great, everyone. Okay, so half kneeling, just level out the hips. Take some time to get nice and tall in your posture so your weight is centered over your down knee. Your front foot, open up the toes and just slowly start to pulse forward. Get a little stretch in through your thigh and front of your hip without going into an arch of the back. So you're here, here. And then taking the front foot out on a bit of an angle, maybe pull the heel in and some more work on ankle mobility, trying not to lift the heel. Track the knee right over the middle of your foot. Get a good stretch in through the hips. We'll go right into a half kneeling balance challenge, just walking the foot back in front and closer to the midline. So if you're on a tightrope between your knee and your heel. And now refocus on the upright posture and the breathing. We'll go for about half a minute and just making those little small adjustments to stay upright. Trying not to over tighten the hips. Just tighten and release to stay upright. And then what else do you have to do? If this is feeling too easy, you could blink or close your eyes. Just briefly see how that changes how you feel. And there's our 30 seconds. Okay, so now we'll just carefully come to the other side. Same setup, leveling the hips, some stretches forward. On an angle. And then the same thing, walking to a sort of tightrope position. I'll time this for half a minute. Just practicing. Five more seconds. Good, nicely done. Frog rocks are next. Back to hands and knees with the knees quite wide. We'll start to sit the hips straight back. This is very much like a squat in standing. So as you sit your hips to your heels, try to maintain your neutral back and not go into a big flex or extension by dipping down. So a little curve in the small of the back. As you rock forward into your hands, take a little load in your shoulders and start to add some neck mobility by looking over a shoulder, left to right. As you continue to go through some rocks, be curious with your eyes, move slowly through your neck. Can you look up and around, just mobilizing your neck a little differently? And then how about some shifts over to the right side and to the left side? Feel a little stretch in the inner thighs. Nice work. We'll go from here to some knee bends and some ankle work. Just take a stretch strap. If you like to work with that, you can do it without a strap as well. Setting up your posture through your back and neck. Non-working leg can be bent or straight if that feels okay on the back. About 3 to 5 of these moves, just taking some time to go through and fully extend the back of your knee. Spread your toes, pull the toes down to your shin. Holding the leg in that extended position, now you can focus on the ankle only, working full range of motion, pushing the heel to the roof, opening the toes. As much as I do ankle mobility, sometimes when I really slow down, I'm like, this feels a little different today. So just taking some time to try some different angles as I roll the sole of my foot in and out. And sort of alluding to when I circle, like if I bring my toes around, trying to keep my legs still, slow enough, I can actually feel quite a lot of stretch response going on in my foot. And if I was to go a little faster, I'm just not accessing that. So take your time, just kind of feel it out. And we'll switch sides. Can she go on about the ankle anymore? Okay, other side. Adjust, knee bends, extends. It's really worthy of spending time on this stuff over the weeks, months, years, decades. It's going to make a huge difference in your movement longevity. All right, here we go with the same series, opening the toes. Ankle rolls, different angles. And those slow circles, trying to keep the legs still. Nice work. Onto your side. Now we'll go into the hip circles. A couple circles in each direction, and just take some time to make sure that your front hip is rolled a little forward, belly button kind of light beam, aiming at the floor. Slowly take the leg up and circling around. You want to put this into any place that feels like you don't have control. You could want to feel like you can stop anywhere. If there's any pain or clicking, let's definitely decrease this range of motion. Continue the deep breathing, and after a couple circles in each direction, we'll switch sides. Feels nice. I'm going to move us into some double bridges and single leg bridges today. By the way, this is the week 6 of this training routine. So next week, there'll be a new order, new order of training. All right, here's my double bridge position, opening up the hips, coming up to extension, not down here where you might not get full extension, and not higher where you might put some stress into your back. Activate the hip muscles as you lift, lower. What about your posture through your low back? Do you need to tuck down just a bit so everything feels aligned as you come up? And if you want to take it to single leg, we'll do 5 single leg now. If this doesn't feel good for you, then just stick with the doubles. Same principles apply. Try to come up into full hip extension, adjusting the posture if you need to every time. There's 5 singles. Good. After the bridges, we'll come on to hands and knees. We'll do bear holds, 3 to 5 breaths for the first one, and then option to stay with the bear or take it into the high arm plank. So spreading the fingers, weight shifting forward and connecting the shoulders. I've got my back toes tucked and I just float my knees off, pushing the floor away. Nice deep breathing in and out through the nose. Challenge yourself, 3 to 5 breaths. Take a rest. You can shake out those wrists. Option to do that again, or step back into a high arm plank, activating hip muscles. Again, pushing the floor away. And this morning we'll do a third one, so take a moment to shake out the wrists. Bear or plank, wherever you're at. If 3 breath cycles feels like too much and you can only hold this posture for 1 breath cycle, then that's how you grow your strength. Meet yourself where you're at. Don't hold it longer than you should, where you start to feel collapse or discomfort in the neck or the low back. Okay, now we're going to the seated row, and you take a long stretchy band, get nice and tall in your seated position, feet about hip width apart. I like the elbows to finish just at the side waist, so you need to check that the tension works for that. So you don't have it so loose that you're bringing your elbows all the way back and rotating your shoulder inward. You can change the width of your elbows, so some pulls wider. There's lots of little nuances to this row where all are good in that, say I put a little bit more grip between my thumb and fingers as opposed to my smaller fingers. When I change that focus, I feel a slightly different recruitment of the muscles through my shoulders and shoulder blades coming together. You can also do some single pulls. One on the right, one on the left, double. You want to avoid shrugging. Keep the breath going. And as with all exercises, if you get to that point where you feel fatigued, it's like you're done, right? So a rep range of 10-ish to 12 is just a suggestion. McGill holds are next. So lying onto your back with the McGill hold, one knee is bent and one leg is straight. You want to figure out what you need to do to your core box to align your rib cage and neck. So I just need to push my mid back to the floor a little bit, and I feel all these muscles connect and activate. Now, whether you lift your head off the floor or not, is sort of dependent on your neck status. If you lift, support the head. You can lift the foot and the head just a little bit off the floor. Breathe into this connection. I'll stick with the 3 to 5 breath cycles. Coming in and out of these holds, be mindful, release the head and foot, and then switch the top knee. Now, some folks have a strong enough core box and neck is part of your core that they can lift up without supporting the head, even for a few breaths, maybe not the full 3 to 5. Watch that you're not flexing up too much and lifting the foot and the head. It's sort of forehead and sternum lift. And I'm just trying to lift my heel an inch or less. And let's go 2 times per side. So back to side 1. I think I've given lots of variations, except the one where if your head and neck flare up, leave your head on the floor. Okay, so now I'm just gently pressing the back of my head into the floor. You could put your tongue lightly on the roof of your mouth, and that will start to integrate this deep neck core, if you want to call it that, or deep neck set. And it's actually a very effective variation. Okay, so let's go through this again. So back to double bridges and single. And we'll go through this set again fairly quickly and then move into our standing. So 5 double bridges and up to 5 singles. Taking your time, feeling out your hip extension, making sure your core box is set. As you come into your single leg, you can just hover your leg up there or grab onto the back of your leg and cross your other arm over your rib cage so you know you're not extending into your back as you come up. Into your bear or plank, we'll do 3 So take some time, spread the fingers, no shrugging. Here's the bear. Push the floor away. I brought my head up a little bit because I was letting my head drop. Bad Sheila. And then just focusing on that breath. How are the hands? Do you need to give them a little break and stretch them out? Stepping back, if you choose, into your high arm plank. Activating the hip muscles a little bit. Okay, and then listen to your body. Can you do a third one of the plank? Do you want to go back to the bear? It all builds your capacity. So if you're feeling tired, you're taking things a little shorter, picking some easier variations, it still works. The magic still happens. Into the seated row. Okay, so I'm sitting upright. Check the tension, maybe a little less. There we go. Do a few doubles. Take my elbows a little wider. See how I'm just making these suggestions so you can play with different grips. You want to get the sense that your shoulder blade is moving towards your spine as you pull back, retraction of the shoulder blades. Good. And then back to the McGills. Let's just do one per side this time. So challenge yourself, find the position. 3 to 5 breaths. Coming out of it carefully, switching that top knee. Nice variations. Okay, so we'll come to standing. We're going to start with 5 body weight squats and hinges. So with my squat, I'm just going to take my feet a little wider than hip width and start to work into the depth, opening up the hips. You can push your knees out a little bit. You can rock side to side, get a sense of your center. Only going to a depth that you can control. And feel free to change the width and the angle of your toes a little bit. See if that opens up and allows you to come down into your squat differently. And then into some hinges. Hips go back to the wall behind you, coming up. Press the hips forward, align the posture. You can rotate the palms and get a little extra shoulder rotation in there. And after 5 of these, we'll take it into some single leg balance reaches. So setting up your foot posture, slight bend in the knee. If reaching into the air feels a little unsafe for you, then take it to a piece of furniture so that you're reaching to a target. Try to stand up fully in between each reach. I'm trying to keep my shoulders and hips square. I like to breathe in as I hinge and reach to create that little intra-abdominal connection with the pressure. I exhale as I come back up. If you're going to hold it, You could rebreathe, exchange some air, and take another breath in as you return up to standing. Okay, so from here, I'm going to load the squats. Got some toe spacers on, so I'm going to take those off now. Find a weight that you can do 8 squats with. Taking some time to set the weights up at the shoulders. Now I don't need my toe spacers to open my toes, but I am trying to connect them to the floor. So as I inhale down and come back up, got some awareness of what's going on in my feet. I'm trying not to scrunch or lift my toes, just keep them nicely connected. Use them a little bit. So up to 8, pulling yourself down, that nice even depth. After your 8 squats, we'll go into a possibility of a single leg balance reach. So if this doesn't feel like right for you, you can do what we did for the warm-up, which was just the balance reaches without weight. I'm taking my 10-pound dumbbell, holding it end to end, and now the weight goes down as my leg goes back. Could try the cue reaching the heel to the wall behind you. 3 to 5 of these per side. Alternating if you wish, or just staying on one side. It's all good. Practice, come back up. Nice work. Next up is our push-up variations. So finding a variation either at the wall, on the floor with a pillow to lower yourself to. These are all variations of the plank. Finding your plank posture first is important. Be okay with just a little lower or a full lower, pulling your shoulder blades together as you bring yourself to the floor. You could put a pillow underneath here so you don't have to go quite as far. That looks great. And just empowering yourself to this practice. Whatever number you feel you can do well without driving into your neck or losing the connection through your hips, sagging the back down. That's why a little activation of the hip muscles is good. Okay, so let's go into an overhead press. This is from standing, up to 5 per side. And I like the idea of creating a shelf here that I'm pressing away from, keeping the rest of my body connected. So if this weight is not near my max, I'm not having to dip or turn, or I want my core to work as I press overhead and pull back down. Okay, optimizing the muscles on top of my shoulder, and then everything pulls back down. It's almost like I'm squeezing a towel underneath between my armpit and my elbow. About 5, switch sides. Okay, watch that you're not locked out in your knees, right? Floating your posture, press overhead. Get the work in. If this hurt for some reason, you could do a partial, with no weight, just work range of motion with a light fist. And we'll go through our whole set again now. So going back to your squats and your single leg hinges, it was 8 squats. Getting the weights carefully in place, neck those feet, and enjoy. Nice work. Single leg hinges. I'm connected with my foot. I'm going to stay on one side this time. Come back up. 3 to 5 per side. Take some time at the top, regain your posture. Breathe in. Wobbly reps count. Really bad reps don't count. Okay. When that happens, I sometimes ask myself, oh, where did my mind go? Or did I lose my focus? Or was it just a blooper? Push-ups, planks. Set it up. Got a mental dialogue of how many I'm going to do. I want to try and get there, but I'm not going to hurt myself as I attempt the lowers. So an example might be, I'm going to try, let's just see how this next one feels. I'm not so sure about it, so don't go there, right? Because then tomorrow you could wake up with a really sore neck or something seized up that you're just a pinchy, you know, and we don't want to do that. We don't want to trigger those kind of things. So stop yourself before it doesn't feel good. And then last set of this overhead press. I've checked my posture. I'm connected with my feet. I have no locked out knees, and I'm going through some nice range of motion. This weight is in my wheelhouse, so I can go a little wider. I can go up. I can pull down slowly, working the up phase and the down phase. If it was heavier, it was closer to my max that I could press overhead, I might want to stick a little closer and straight up beside my ear. Okay, so keep that in mind. Open, close. We conquered it. Hooray! Okay, static lunge, 6 per side. Okay, got a feeling I know where this is going to go in our next program. So let's get this in. Here's my static lunge. I step back nice and straight. I can breathe in as I go down. My back heel is staying off the floor. I'm getting some good bend through my back toes. My front foot is nice and connected, knees tracking over my midfoot nice and straight. And I can challenge myself by going forward a little bit if that feels okay, or staying more upright. Okay, as you switch sides, this is what I mean about the knee tracking right over the middle of the foot. Get some bend in the back toes. Good. Second exercise, we'll put a loop band on in standing band walks. So band is just above my knees. I'm going to take it to a little bit of a hinge so that my hips are back, and then try to step to the side, keeping the hips level. So I'm not hiking and stepping, and I'm keep the tension on the band. Getting some arm work in and some reciprocal arms. 2 to 3 passes. I'm already starting to feel the heat in my hips, so not in my back and not down in my knees. So if you're feeling it there, take a moment, regroup. Now try some forward and back. You want the work to be feeling like it's coming from your hips. So if you stand up and get the hips back and try slightly different angles, think about the hip muscles. So here, right hip, a little activation, left hip, right hip, keeping some width on the knees. I'm working hard here. One more time. You feel that little burn, that's okay. Keep breathing. I like to say in about 10% of the exercises, we want that. Deadlift or hip hinge, and then weighted hold. So the deadlift or hip hinge movement has, the principles are the same, whether your body weight here with dumbbells, with kettlebells. You want to keep practicing the hip hinge. As the hips go back, the back is neutral. You come up to standing. You can inhale as your hips go back, and exhale coming up. You want to be mindful that you don't round the back. Okay, so the back is neutral. Hips back, inhale, exhale, come up. Now to the imposed demand, if you go with something heavier from the floor, the principles are the same. Take a breath in, wedge myself to the bells, lift. Rebreathe, slowly lower. So you've got the foundation of the movement, and over time, build up with some more load. From the floor, wedge your armpits, take a breath, lift through the hips, lower through the hips. Okay, and the last exercise is taking a weight on one side and doing about 3 full breath cycles. So I'm going to use a 10-kilogram kettlebell, and no walking today, just with good posture. Here. Anchoring in the shoulder, trying not to lean into this weight. So this side of my core is working hard. Knees are not locked out. After 3 breaths, you can transfer hand to hand or put the weight down, depending on whether you need a break. And here we go. Excellent. I'm just going to run us through that once today and go through another set of lunges. So here we go. 6 lunges, whether you choose to load up or not. Step back. Get some control through those back toes. And here we go. Looking good. Felt great. Bands on. Grab a quick sip of water here. Light hinge position. And those arms involved. Work the hips. 2 to 3 passes. Oh yeah, we got this. One more. And then forward and back. If you don't have a band, just do this without, and it's still effective. Right hip, left hip. Feel a little mind muscle connection. Feet are wide enough that I'm being challenged to keep the band from bringing my knees in. There we go. Okay, let's go through our last two exercises, keeping us just a couple minutes over time today. So my apologies if you have to go, please do. Never want to rush a deadlift. All good, thank you. So focusing on what you're going to do, pick your number. Lift. Reset. Take a deep breath in. That looks great. Okay, the weight I used the first time, that 10 kilogram, felt like a good challenge to hold for 3 breath cycles. Work on my foot connection, my posture. Deep breath all the way around. Long, slow exhale. Excellent. Well, thank you so much for joining me to grow your strength, build a stronger version of yourself. Take care. Have a good week.